Vibe Creative District and Creative Mornings Virginia Beach. We're so thankful for you all to join us this morning. I have a confession, I'm not a morning person. So, taking on a bright and early morning event was not necessarily one of my life goals, but I am so excited to see how we are growing. So we started this back at the end of 2023, and it has grown every month, so thank you all for showing up for your creative community. We really appreciate that. Before we get started, I'm just going to run through a couple quick things. First, I want to acknowledge some of our supporters. And today here in the crowd, we have one of our City of Virginia Beach council members, Worth Remick. You want to stand up and wave real quick? The City of Virginia Beach is a very important supporter of the Vibe Creative District and thereby Creative Mornings. And then we also have one of our Virginia Beach Arts and Humanities Commissioners, Olga. Stepped in. Are you here? Oh, Swayze. Well, thank you for being here today as well. All right, so I want to point out our team. We've got myself here, Tessa. You want to come up or wave? In the back, Tessa with the garage. We've got Albert here at the videography. We have our friends from Misty Saves the Day Photography, Sandy in the back. We have team member Cassidy here out front, local artist. Ms. Val here up front as well, our beautiful blogger. And then, am I missing any other team members here today? Not here today, we have Robert Fivash with Brand Fuel, who supplied our beautiful mugs. Sunny Peoples, also from the Arts and Humanities Commission, and I think and Rachel with 23 Beans. So it takes a lot of people to run these events, and I really appreciate their partnership. It also takes a lot of people to run this neighborhood, so I did want to acknowledge LG Shaw here from our Friends of the Creative District board, and from WRB fame, infamous, right? We really rely on our local creative businesses to help support what's going on here too. And the really fun part about our team of volunteers that gets to sit around a table and think about these themes is how we can find unconventional people to represent them. And the idea of ritual and repeating something and really dedicating your time and energy to it led us to think about our speaker here today, Barry. And so we're really excited to have him here to share his story and how he has worked for 8 years to build community here in Virginia Beach. So on that note, I'm going to introduce Val to do our speaker intro.
Barry, I think you guys all know why we're here. Barry Clark is a 757-based creative and community leader, most recognized as the founder of North End Run Club. With almost 8 years of experience building community through the sport of running and over 15 years working in design and music, Barry's roots in our community run deep. His passion is encouraging and motivating people from all walks of life to get outside, be active, and explore their city. His motto is simple: just show up as you are and with all you've got. He was awarded WTKR's People Taking Action Award in February 2020 and was honored by the Mayor of Virginia Beach with an official proclamation for the community he's built, naming April 16th as North End Run Club Day. Barry resides in Virginia Beach and leads weekly events that both build a stronger community and support local businesses. So join me in welcoming Barry.
Oh man. Good morning. How's everybody feeling? Nice. Like Kate, I can align with you on not being a morning person, so excuse me, I'm having my first cup of coffee, but luckily today we had a group run on Fridays. It was over at the First Street Jetty, so I'm a little awakened by that, inspired by that, so coming into this, nice to see some familiar faces, nice to meet a lot of new faces already, so really excited to get into this. I have a couple notes here. I kind of just, you know, first off, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I think first and foremost, just first and foremost, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. I just want to thank Kate. I want to thank Tessa for the garage and Creative Mornings, Virginia Beach, and just everybody from the Vibe Creative District for being so supportive and honestly just giving a platform for us to just come up and share our stories and kind of touch on this month's themes of rituals. it's something that I don't do. I don't talk on a mic often as well too, but I'm usually just screaming in front of people directions on where to run. So this is a little out of my element, but it's something that honestly has been a really delightful challenge. When she presented me with the theme rituals, it was a moment for me to kind of sit back and reflect of how we got to where we are today. It's one of those things, it's like as we're in it and as it's happening and we're building it, it's, you know, we're checking off things and we're doing things, but it's really neat to just honestly take a step back, sit back, be reflective, and understand kind of the why of how it got to where it's become today. So this is kind of a brain dump that I'll kind of go over. Again, I don't anticipate just reading this off to you guys, and I definitely want this to be interactive. So I'm going to speak for a little bit, and I really just want to get to know you guys, open up the floor for some Q&As, and just really get this interactive. So one thing I want to do as well, and I think we had the chance to do it before, but we do this every single run, and maybe this could be a new ritual, is just take 30 seconds and then just look to your left or right and just quickly just introduce yourself to somebody you never met before. Just quickly, how are you? Good morning. You guys sound so beautiful. I know that. I'm done. That's it. That is literally music to my ears. We do that each and every week at North End Run Club, and we're going to get into the kind of the why behind that as well too. But again, thank you guys for being here, sharing the morning with us. So today I'm here to talk about something that's just been a cornerstone in my life for the past 8 years, as Kate mentioned. It's rituals. And when I think of, I guess when we all kind of think of rituals to begin with, we might think of some religious ceremony or some type of practice. It can be very complex in nature, just by definition, but also can just be a very, very simple intention that is just a repeated action, and it's just something that we commit to doing consistently. So in 2016, it was July, I created a simple ritual, which just was a Tuesday night run club. I didn't know exactly what I was creating at the time, by the way. At the time, I kind of longed for a little bit of accountability, and it's just really to get outside, to be more active, and to explore our city. And yet through that power of consistency, that small act has just grown into a movement and just been, honestly, an undeniable staple in the 757 and beyond. That brings together 250, 500 plus people on a Tuesday night here in Virginia Beach, week after week for the last 8 years, which is incredible. And then today, Friday mornings in the summertime, probably 150 people this morning. So before I dive too far in, I just want to preface this speech just by saying, when I started North End Run Club back in 2016, I wasn't a runner. In fact, the idea of running, the thought of running terrified me. It was I guess, a lower barrier to entry into a more healthier life. So that's kind of what was the seed planted. I didn't have to have a gym membership. I didn't have to get all this fancy equipment. It was strap on some shoes, have a little bit of motivation, go outside and move. And then that is literally kind of the baseline of how we present ourselves to the community to this day. And I believed in the power of showing up for others and in return for myself week in and week out. So at the time when I created it, it wasn't me and a couple buddies that created it or whatnot, my wife. It was a location drop, and whoever showed up is going to keep me accountable. And if you continue to show up, then I got to be accountable. I got to run. And then as more and more people started showing up, and maybe I need to run outside of Tuesdays, and all of a sudden now I'm a runner, and it's scary to think. So I'm not here to convert anybody to running, by the way. To each their own, and I totally get why you don't like it, but I totally get why you would come over. But I think as humans movement is just a natural thing that we do, and there was just something that was just so simple about running. So, so little did I know that simple ritual will grow into a community of thousands, transform into what it's become today again. It's built connections, it's fostered growth, and it's just created something lasting in our community for the last 8 years. So to start off, the definition of ritual. So I have it here defined as rituals are a set of actions, behaviors, ceremonies that are performed in a specific order or manner, often with symbolic elements. They're repeated regularly and carry cultural or social significance. Rituals can be important in a community because they create a sense of belonging. It establishes the community identity, and it builds and strengthens community culture, connection, and trust. It encourages participation and engagement, and it provides stability and dependability and predictability, kind of in your everyday life as well too, and how you kind of integrate it into your week to week, day to day, whatever the ritual may be. So rituals create shared experiences among community members. Participating helps individuals feel connected to the community and each other. Rituals contribute to a community's identity, and they can reinforce what the community values stand for, helping members define and understand their collective identity. So my personal story, again, I don't want to sit here and talk too much about me. Again, it's a kind of a time to reflect, but it's just like how the ritual has built, and then a little bit of built the community, and then a little bit of my backstory. So just to introduce myself, who may not have known, been a Hampton Roads native my whole life, was raised in Portsmouth, lived in Suffolk, and then And then when I was 16, kind of a wild story, I got my license and I drove to Virginia Beach. And this is back when they had for sale signs in the yards. And I was going through every neighborhood and I was grabbing the for sale signs, and I would go back home to my parents and say, we need to move to Virginia Beach. This is this house for sale. I don't know your budget, I don't know anything, I'm 16. But like, I want to live in Virginia Beach because at that time, I kind of saw a life ahead of me in Suffolk, and I thought there was a little more out there. And Virginia Beach has been home for the last, since 2004 for me. So my parents were crazy enough to honestly sell the house, move to Virginia Beach, and then from there I've just been involved with arts, photography, graphic design, pretty much my whole life as long as I can imagine. So I was a DJ for 10 years as well too. A lot of people may know me from that, but DJ A to G, I was actually at Crocs every Thursday night. You might have saw me in another world there. And a community leader for the last 8 years. And that's something that I think out of all my life work and everything I'm the most proud of, other than being a father. But freelance graphic designer, so I did a brief stint in woodworking during the pandemic, lost a bunch of jobs, had to get the creative juices going, started doing woodworking, created a business, actually did a lot of really awesome installments to local business around here. Virginia Beach Sports Center, kind of took the extra wood flooring there and made 250 gifts for the cities and all that stuff. So as we're in the neighborhood, I think that's just a really cool thing to call out. And then professionally to this day, I'm a creative director. So I was a creative director for Born Primitive, which is a apparel brand based out of Virginia Beach, and then currently working remote with a company based out of Miami. So that's a little bit about me, of all the hats I've kind of wore in the area. But I just always been a cheerleader for the city I live in and the people I'm surrounded by. I try to make sense of, like, during this speech and planning this out, like all the hats I wore, like, what does it all mean? But I think it all really comes down to the fact that, like, I thrive when I'm bringing people together. And it's become evident in my life that there's a deep sense of urge, there's a deep sense and an urge for me to feel surrounded and validated by the people that I'm around as well too. So just being a part of something, belonging to something, being, contributing to something has been something that's been very invaluable in my life. So it's how I stay inspired and stay connected, and in my case with the run community, how I maintain a healthy body and mind as well too. So how I started North End Run Club back in 2016, it was just, again, simple. Get outside, be active, explore your city. You got to put yourself in 2016. I know there's kind of like a run club boom happening right now, which again, all for, but 2016, there wasn't a lot of options. You know, there was great training teams. You would pay for, become members of other teams. You would train for races. You would have coaches and whatnot. And not to say that it didn't already exist. It just wasn't as accessible as I found throughout my findings. And you go, I wasn't a runner, and I probably wasn't looking in all the right places. So when I created this, I created what I imagined, and I wanted it to feel like, and how I wanted it to be for others. So that's, you know, it was something that was just very intuitive to me. So at the end of this, I'll kind of help give a little bit of roadmap of like how I think rituals can kind of play into like if you know, to building community in your life. But at the time, I didn't have that. It was kind of a little bit more based on feel. So consistency as a ritual is a really big one for us. Consistency. So I define consistency as it's the pace that not only keeps us in the race, but it also ensures we're constantly moving towards the finish line together. It's a daily commitment to our goals, the discipline to show up even when progress seems slow, especially during these summer months. You feel like, why am I doing this? As well too. Runners can relate to that. And the resilience to keep going despite any obstacle you may encounter. It's the secret sauce, honestly, to the success in the community we built. It's day in and day out, from the Tuesday consistency to how, again, we talk to everybody, how we conduct our runs, how we show up on social media. There's so much consistency along the way, and honestly, the formula in the last 8 years has never changed. It's pretty much the same, even though the numbers have increased. But for us, consistency just made for better fitness, and honestly, it just made for a little more callous mind as well too. It's like we show up no matter the weather. We show up all year long, every week. Unless it's lightning out, it's just like you can always depend on somebody being there. And whether like I can't make it for some reason, or Mike can, or whatever, there'll be somebody there to run with. And it's consistency too, just knowing you'll have somebody to run with. Like, you'll never run the miles alone, you'll never do this alone. So it's transformed me by it's held me accountable. Obviously, when I started the run club, as I mentioned, it's like I didn't realize what I was building at the time, but when I dropped the Tuesday Run Club, that's a commitment I made to consistency back in a ritual that I created. So it's held me accountable for that. And even when I don't feel like it, I just know that community just has the power to kind of turn any day around. So I can have the worst day ever, I can have the best day ever. And if I have the worst day, I know if I show up and I'm in front of everybody and I'm just feeling the aura, I'm feeling the good vibes and smiles, and I'm giving hugs, it's like, why did I have a bad day? This is awesome. Like, I want more of this, you know? So that's, consistency has been a really big part. I think a lot of our community really resonates with that as well too. Especially when it comes to training as well, you know, and just seeing familiar faces. We've had people that run with us. I know Kim's been with us for 7 years, more than that. I mean, we have people that run with us too that's been at the very first run, which honestly just, to me, says a ton about our community and then the consistency, again, it provides. So, so next one too is like building a thriving community, and this is another big one. It's just inclusivity. So I just want to talk about that real quick. So from the beginning, the Run Club is open to everyone. I mean, it's literally come as you are, with what you got, with however you got it, and just show up. And it's honestly, like, showing up's half. It's like, actually, it's more than half the battle. It's more the majority of the battle. I think there's a quote that's like 80% of it is showing up, and it is. It's like committing to it, showing up, and then there's a run, but showing up is that. And by the way, I'm not a coach. Like, I don't coach people in running. This is literally, I facilitate people coming together and moving. That's just as I want this to be generalized thinking. But so from the beginning, it was open to everyone. So regardless of like athletic ability to this day, I mean, race, ethnicity, age, gender, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, disability, economic status, size, shape, and any other diverse backgrounds. It's like the ritual of just welcoming everybody with open arms created a safe space for everybody. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what kind of type of politics are happening, what side you're on, no matter, we never touch it. We never, that's not our lane. This is like where you come to get away from family. This is where you come to get away from your job. This is where you come to just like find yourself get connected in whatever way. So there's a lot to get out of it, and we just will always want to leave that door open for everybody, because it also too speaks on the running community, and that's something that I did create. That's worldwide, and I just, inviting more people into that community as well it means a lot to me. So how we do this is we start together and we finish together every single week on Tuesdays. We wait for the last runner to get in, no matter your pace, and then even on the race days, we're out there cheering to the last runner finishes. So every single Tuesday, our kind of structure is we do the welcome as we did just a minute ago. We get into like kind of who we are. We'll explain the route, and then we start together, we finish together. So 6:30 we're off, and then we say 7:30 is wrap time. It's just like a workout class. It's like, when the class begins, when the class ends, and then we wait for everybody to come in, and that provides so much more, and it's very important to us. It's something that I stress, and when I see people sometimes get in their car leaving, it's like I have to stop them and say, there's people waiting for a high five from you at the finish line. And it's like, as you got to put yourself in their shoes as well too, the first time you showed up or you were where they were at one day, because if you were a great runner these days, you weren't always a great runner. Sometimes it's genetics, I understand that, but also too, it's and it's important for us, and that's the one thing. So we always encourage that. We facilitate that in everything we do. So that in itself just welcomes people. I think there's obviously the size intimidation of the group as well too, but we're not all fast runners. We have people, a community as being inclusive, all walks of life, all ages, all paces, ages. We have kids, we have adults, we have moms and dads running with strollers, we have runners, we have walkers, but you have an hour to move. That's the biggest thing. So that's really, like, I think how we've kind of grown to that 10 initially to the 500 plus. And again, the rituals, it wasn't just about running. It's just about connecting. It's about sharing stories, about introducing yourself to somebody new, and just building relationships through and through. I always tell people, keep showing up, keep getting integrated, keep meeting somebody new. Before you know it, you're not going to be a stranger to this group anymore. You'll get welcomed with open arms every week.
Hey Barry, can I give you a shout out?
Yeah.
So I've been with North End for a really long time, and I think the ritual that he's created is a safe space. So he's created a safe space for any age, any race, any pace, whatever you want to do. When you go, you know what to expect. And one of the most powerful things you said when I first got there was, I'm asking you for an hour of your time. And I thought about that, and I was like, an hour of your time. And he's asking not just for you to give it to yourself, but for you to give it to your community, to give it to everybody. That 1 hour, that's nothing. And that's a beautiful ritual. And then when you get there, we're going to start together. There's going to be somebody there waiting for you at the end. And he's going to honor somebody with the energy cup at the end. And then you leave. And you're not leaving and going, hey, it's time to drink and party and ruin everything. No, you're leaving and you're going home on a Tuesday night and you're saying, I gave an hour to myself and to my community, and you did that. You did that for everybody, and you do that for me every Tuesday night. I never ran on nights before, and you did that for me, and so thank you.
Thank you. Kim, you have a soft spot in my heart. I appreciate. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's very true. It's like, it's 1 hour of your time. It's also like just 1 hour off your screens. It's like 1 hour, just disconnect from whatever you have. Just disconnect, be present, talk to humans face to face. I think it's important. It's like, not to bash this app, but like when I started the run club, there was like the Pokemon Go thing kind of happening. And I remember almost running through people in my car. Like, just get off your phone. There's a beautiful, on the boardwalk, I live down here, in Shadowline, and I'm running the boardwalk and look up, look at this beautiful world. And so like, just to create an hour to do that and facilitate it, is also kind of a nod to that notion as well too. So I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that. So just personal transformation, I'll run through this real quick, is like in the last 8 years as well too, like, you know, when it comes to running, like I've become a marathon. I wasn't a runner, but I run 2 marathons now. And I've had the honor of just becoming brand ambassadors for just a lot of major brands as well too, just in the fitness space, such as Lululemon, On Running, supplement companies, Athletic Brewing, which is a relationship that started about 3.5 years ago when I became alcohol free. So it was like, it's one of those things, and I was talking with a friend right before I got on here, and it's like, when I started this back in the day, it's the doors that are unopened, it's the hallways the doors we open, the hallways we walk down, that was another door that will potentially open. Like, we don't know what the future holds, but it's just like that ever-going just opportunities that present itself that that happen just because of the rituals that we create as well too. So just like a personal thing, it's like building community is the one thing, but also too, like as we grow professionally and we grow ourselves and we just mature with time, it could be something that in your world as you create a ritual as well too that could, you know, open some doors for you and again, whatever ritual that may be. So it became, again, it's Tuesday nights, just more than exercise, it's a ritual of connection. So to touch on the ritual of connection, it's just the ritual of gathering just contributes to building a stronger community by using this platform to contribute and give back in a variety of different ways. So we're a run club, but we also say we're more than a run club. I mean, we're truly not a club because it's like, just show up, but you know, anybody can be. But we're a community, and we give back in a lot of different ways. One of the things I'm most proud about with the community that we built is, and I use this platform to do good in our area, so a lot of, I know I'm missing some in the last 8 years, but this is some of the highlights, is every November we fill 2 or 3 truck full of food to local food pantries and we stock. And this is literally, we explain it to the group, hey, here's a list of items. The next week, we're filling up trucks. The next day, they're going to food pantries, and it's going delivered right in our backyard here in Virginia Beach and beyond, really. We do toy drives for CHKD, and something I'm, again, most proud about is we're the single largest private donation to CHKD toys. We have a toy drive. We have a holiday party every single year. The entry into that holiday party is a toy. Bring a toy that's approved on this list, and then that toy the next day goes directly to the hospital. Again, 2 or 3 truckloads, maybe 4, I think last year, which is crazy. And we deliver that right to the hospital. It goes right, gets sorted through their with their facility faculty, goes right up to the floor, and then families and kids can shop that that are spending the holidays away from their homes. So that's really important to us and give back in that way to use this platform. We've given hygiene care kits to and coat drives to the unhoused. And the one that we're the most commonly known for throughout the year is just supporting local businesses whenever possible. So right now we're doing this on Thursdays. We're using the platform, these rituals, to just give back. We don't ask $1, there's no backdoor deals. It is, hey, can we mob your business for an hour, but you'll have a great return on that investment, hopefully, as well too. So just, on a Tuesday night, obviously we know being in Virginia Beach throughout the off seasons, slower time of year, like these help some of these businesses kind of keep afloat as well too. And even on the Friday mornings, just kicking off the day with a really positive start. So, and then the impacts of rituals on a broader community. So, as Kate mentioned, just receive the people taking action in the world. I don't want to. I feel weird boasting this stuff as well too. I don't want to come across that, but it's like that. I'm really proud of that for everything that we've done together. I always put the community first, and I kind of hide behind the community as well to let it thrive in itself. So North End Run Club Day is here in Virginia Beach, April 16th, and so it has just a broader impact as well too. It's the things that you can't imagine. Again, the doors in the future that you don't see open that will open for you, and it's honestly just created a legacy of health, connection, and just community spirit throughout our area. So here's where I kind of want to get into, and this is like where I just, I put together this little list of just encouraging rituals in your everyday life, and just something to consider. Maybe these are just some tools and bullet points to consider as you think about rituals and how that can apply to what you do. So whether it's a weekly gathering, a daily practice, or just simply showing up for others. So one is just begin with intention. Designing a ritual with intention means focusing on what may be present or what may be missing from the community and how this ritual may fill that gap. So one intention that sets us apart is how we start together, we finish together. Not a lot of run clubs do that, to my awareness as well too, especially I have friends that go all over the world and come here and say, oh, I ran with this group and they're great and they're all fast, but they start the run and then they all just leave. And it's like, oh man, well, why would they do that? There's like, be at the end, be at the finish line. So that, again, that was my intention, but we do this to foster an inclusive environment, again, for all athletic abilities and to honor our brand ethos, just to help show our character, our purpose, and the morals and the quality of our community. So begin with intention, just begin there. And then ask yourself why, before you begin anything. I think that's important. Yes, it's different from intention. Attention encompasses focuses attention on the what and the how, and the why begs the question of why does this matter? Who will care, and who are they? Who am I speaking to? Who's my audience? So the why behind building our community is the accountability for fitness and the sense of belonging, while also just providing structure to one's weekly regimen. Running should be accessible to everyone, and our mission is just to provide that. It's kind of the dumbed down, watered down version of just the why, of why we created it. And then just take some time, explain, and just set expectations. So now it's just the time to figure out how you'll explain your intention, your ritual to your community. I suggest just starting out with a pen and paper or notepad on your phone, just to jot down just who, the what, the when, the why, and just how, and think of it from your members' perspective as well too. And I think that's really important. Like, what's every single detail that they'll want to know in order to be set up for success? Just have it written out clearly to yourself, because if it's unclear to you, you can only imagine how unclear it could be to somebody kind of looking in as well too. So for us, we have that very, very simple as just show up. That is like all that to say, overcomplicated stuff to say, just show up. Again, so that eliminates a lot of the nitty-gritty messaging, and for us, it just empowers the audience to make a decision for themselves, because after all, nobody else is going to do the work for them. Nobody else is going to run the miles for them. No one else is going to get them in the car, drop them off, and be a part of it. So our community is aware that every Tuesday there'll be a run somewhere in Virginia Beach with two distances, again, between 3 to 5 miles at 6:30 p.m. So the Monday location, this is the ritual again, the Monday location drop happens, and then boom, like the pieces become to come together. So we'll often reiterate this messaging as new followers are tuning in, just to clear any confusion. So we never want to assume as well too that as it began, as it always is, it's always, as we get Creative Mornings, explaining, going over the manifesto, reading it for more and more people, and just introducing more and more people, reiterating like what you're about, what you stand for, and again, setting expectations, setting the clear messaging to your audience. We also did this, and this is just a helpful thing. Honestly, it took 8 years to do it, but I created a frequently asked questions, kind of auto reply on social media, because we had so many people. What is this? How can I join? How do I do this? And I wanted to create that to just get an answer to them sooner. So also customer service kind of side of it as well too. Just again, making sure if somebody's reaching out to you, like that's a very valuable thing, and that's something I ever take for granted. So I try to get back to everybody. I reach out to everybody and communicate to them, no matter how long or daunting that could be. I just make sure it's clear that they have everything set up for them for the success. And then number 4, so just invite your members. So how are you going to do that? You created this, you have the why, you have your expectations set, and now it's time to invite people in. So you're invited. Whether it's an in-person gathering, a virtual summit, or a series of coffee chats, just make an effort to actually invite people to this intentional ritual you've created. So keep it simple. It could be an invite via text. It could be a post to the masses, like we do, just inviting everybody to show up. Even a personal reach out, again, a text, like however that ritual looks to you, just think about how you're going to show up for others. So at NERC, we share locations drops and invitations weekly, every Monday, with just an image on social media, our email list, and then there's a little app called Strava we've been using for years. So our community looks forward to seeing what route we're running next and from what location we're running it from. It's just kind of baked into who we are. So that's definitely has grown over time, where it's at a really good spot where people understand how we invite people into our community. And then the last one is, to your point, I want to get to here, is just acknowledge those who participate. So find a way to acknowledge those who attend and participated in the ritual, particularly those who contribute above and beyond. So this could be in your own unique way, and I'll explain mine in a second, but no matter how subtle or extravagant, just the point is to make it fun and just to make it memorable, so that these people they feel seen in which they are, and they'll want to keep showing up and continuing to be a part of it. And then the last thing we do is, how we do this is we hand out a recognition trophy each and every week. And this was gifted to me from the community back on our first year anniversary, and we give it out to the community member who embodies what we're about. So consistency, positivity, and just showing up no matter what. So the ritual is to acknowledge community members when their continued efforts and showing up and encouragement for others, which contributes to an extension of our culture, which we're proud to facilitate. So you got to understand that it comes from the top, trickles down, and as we say it, how we say it's very important, because that translates and really just gets integrated with every root and thread into your community. So this in return, it enhances their connection with the community as well, with just that good feeling of just being recognized as well too. We don't give it out for fast runners. We don't give it out. I mean, there's a variety of different ways. We also give sweaty hugs, and it's kind of weird as well too. So it's like just feeling that acknowledged. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up every week, every run. I'm just like broken record, because it's like I truly feel it, and it's very genuine as well too. So every week is just acknowledging it face to face, looking everybody in the eyes as much as I can, just thanking them for being there. So just a final reflection note is, as I've shown you today, this is the rituals. This is my story on how rituals created the community that's become known as North End Run Club. So no matter how small or simple, you hold the power to transform both individuals and communities in your ideas and your thoughts and your actions. It's not just about the act itself, but it's about the intention behind it, the consistency which we commit to, and the connections we build along the way. So whether you're starting a new ritual or joining an existing one, just remember that showing up is half the battle. Your other half is actually what you bring to it. So it's your energy, it's your passion, it's your willingness to grow with others. So I encourage you to think about what rituals you create and participate in, or participate in, whether it's in your personal life, your community, your work, the teams you manage, your family, health, wellness. I mean, again, very broad subject, so how it translates to you. What small, consistent action can you take to foster connection, create meaning, and build something that lasts? Because in the end, it's these rituals that will have a legacy of connection, growth, and belonging for years to come. So thank you guys for just being here with me today.
Alright, so come on up. We're going to do a real quick Q&A, and then we're going to do a group photo. So if you can stick around for a couple more minutes, we want to get a beautiful photo of all of you.
And you're on live, and Barry, your wife is watching.
Oh.
My phone's about to die, so I'm like, we're still here. Okay, wow. Thank you. Should I just, maybe I'll turn off live, but you're okay. I'm going to hold this to you. No, you're good. Keep going. Wow. I can't thank you enough for being here. I also strive to be an inclusive area in the garage, and I started having no idea what I was doing, so I feel like I nodded the whole time. Let's do some questions.
So what have you learned about yourself throughout this whole journey?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a great one. It's honestly, as I found, I think it's that the deep sense of the urgency to belong to something. I think is like the underlying thing, and I think it's the culture and the community that I've always wanted to be a part of. And not to say I couldn't seek that other way. It's just, again, it's kind of my story. But it was the one thing that's like kind of the why behind everything. It's like, why am I devoting so much work to this that, you know, by the way, if you want to create a very profitable company, probably not a free run club. So why am I spending so much time away from other things, family, friends, other things? And it's just like, because it's something that I want to be a part of. It's something that I am proud of. So I think that's the one thing that I think is like self-realization there has been something that I've learned along the way about myself.
Love it. The showing up is something we talk about all the time. So just show up, just show up. You guys all showed up today. All right, coming into the...
Not a question, but the deepest expression of gratitude, because the job showing up part brought me to where I am today in life, and it is mind-blowing, and 50% of the success is just showing up, so thank you so much.
You mentioned it's like a trendy thing right now.
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason that it's trending right now? Like, what is
fat?
We need another microphone, don't we?
I think as humans, we all just have this innate instinct to move and run and be a part of something. I think social media obviously has a huge trend behind it as well too, and why it's trending, I'm not exactly sure like kind of how it happened. Again, it's something that we're all open arms for as well too. So I just think it's introducing more and more people into it. I think one of those things, the stigma of running, I know when I grew up, it was just always an old guy running down the street. It was just that's all I can remember. And then when I started running, I was like, oh, I guess I'm here, you know? But it's become very intertwined with culture, with arts, community, different supporting local businesses and whatnot too. And again, that low barrier to entry where you don't have to have a gym membership, you don't have to have all this fancy equipment. It's something there that's enticing for people. It's one hard thing that you do at the beginning of the day or at the end of your day that can set you up for success and kind of keep your mind on to the next and then prepare for the next. So it's something that I think just catching on over time with people, and it's awesome to see.
Thank you, Barry. One more round of applause for Barry. Val, Cassidy, Albert, Councilman Remick, LG, are you still here? You guys want to come up real quick? We'll do a quick photo up here with Barry, and then we're going to open up the garage door and go outside for a big photo, okay?
Yeah.